Artificial intelligence is transforming the world. It disrupts industries and raises questions about humans' role in the universe. Understanding and leveraging AI is crucial, no matter who you are and what you do. Welcome to the first episode of Brainwaves Evolution, where we'll delve into the applications of AI across different fields and help you tame its power. My name is Alex Sizov, SYZOV. I'm a manufacturing engineering student at Texas State University, and I'm actively studying AI with an ultimate goal of establishing my own AI automation agency that will create AI solutions for businesses. We will start with one of the hottest debates in the modern academic society. Should AI be used in education, and if yes, how and to what extent? To help me understand this, here's Evan Ortiz, who teaches an experimental class at Texas State where students use AI in their scientific writing. So, are you excited?
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me.
Sure. And I'll let you introduce yourself to our dear listeners.
Hello, everyone. My name is Evan Ortiz. I'm a biology graduate student here at Texas State. I am studying how bacteria adapt and evolve in space. So we're working with NASA to understand how they are growing in the water filtration system. They not only have the ability to grow in there, but they also can permeate within the system itself. Whenever they stick around for a bit, they form a thing called biofilm. And so they'll attach to the surface and start eating away the stainless steel components of the water filtration system. When they do this, they sort of leave an area of effect. And my thesis is in trying to create a automation to measure this area effect. And so that's how I got introduced to machine learning.
Mm-hmm. Got it. So will you tell us more about the actual class? Who came up with the idea? How did it emerge and all this stuff?
Yeah, so I should state that I teach a biology lab component. So I'll begin with the idea of it being from a story about a student. So I had a student coming in, and she was trying really, really hard in the class. She was staying after class and going to office hours, but she still wasn't getting it. She was trying to write a scientific paper, and she had came to me with like 3 pages of an intro. And in science, we really prize ourselves on being concise. So I told her that if she had given me just 3 paragraphs of this intro, that she would get higher points, and this sort of frustrated her. And I could tell that she was really, really putting in the work. So what I told her is, go ahead, go home, and try putting this work that you've done into like ChatGPT and ask it to make it more concise. Tell it that you're writing a scientific paper and ask it to make it more concise. And then come back to me and to so I could see the work afterwards. And it was really good, and she was really happy with it. I was really happy with it, and so I told my lab coordinator about this, and I told him about this issue I was having with the student and how I solved it. And because I have experience in machine learning, he told me to go ahead and next semester we're going to try to do some sort of experimental class where we'll give the students access to it. But again, like this is a scientific like biology class, so like these students are writing scientific papers, so it's different than like a creative writing class. But the first thing I try to teach them how to use these AI models is to use them ethically and effectively.
Mm-hmm. By ethically, do you mean their papers should still pass the AI detection tests?
So I'm not trying to teach them how to cheat in a way, but that sort of goes off into how these AI detection tests work.
Okay.
Is these models have a way that they like to talk. Let's just keep it that way, and they use keywords more likely. So, like for instance, they use the keywords delve and meticulous and understanding, and that's what these AI model tools are using.
Oh, you mean AI detection tools, right?
Yeah, AI detection tools, you're right.
Oh, yeah. I've just realized that I've used Delve in my intro, and I didn't use AI to create it. So, yeah, it kind of proves the point, right? Maybe that the AI detection tools are not even the most effective.
Right. These tools maybe only have like 50 to 60% accuracy.
Really?
Yeah. And and it ranges. So, 50 to 70, depending on what tool it is. It also ranges based upon what models that the students are using. But this accuracy is a high rating based upon older models, right? And these models will continue to get better and better and will be harder to detect.
Right. So let's actually delve into the details about your class. Like, what exactly do you teach students about AI, and is it even an official part of the curriculum?
Right. So it's like not included in the syllabus. Again, we're sort of doing this experimental class. So they're told on the very first day that they will be a part of this experiment. And I'm like, you won't get in trouble for your papers being flagged, but we're going to teach you how to use them ethically. And so the first thing I will ask the class is, how are y'all using these AI models? And they're kind of shy at first, but they have various ways of using them. So like, I use it to come up with a study guide. I use it to come up with a grocery list for, and then I'm like, what models do y'all use? And overwhelmingly, they all use ChatGPT. But I teach them to use an assortment of models, or I teach them about 3 models in particular. So of course, ChatGPT is your standard model. It can do really amazing stuff, but you have to pay for it, right?
Well, I mean, there's a free version, but
but for the better features, there's a $20 a month, and then there's also a $200 a month subscription that you're gonna have to do.
Well, when DeepSeek, you definitely know about DeepSeek came out. They even released like their most advanced model, O3, to use. So free users can actually use it.
Yeah.
And I think for even plus users, like it's $20 a month. It's I believe they just raised it to 50 messages per day with O3 Mini High, which is their most advanced model. So ChatGPT is actually
it's a little overpriced.
but again, you can use it for free. Not so many messages, but you can. So
well, because we are a public institution, I strayed away from using these newer models out of China. So luckily, because we just got an email stating that like those would be banned, but even last semester I didn't teach them to use that. So it was ChatGPT and Gemini, which is through Google. So Gemini and Google sort of poses itself like a ChatGPT, but it's cheaper. So it essentially will do a lot of the same things, but it's either free, sort of like DeepSeek, or like very, very little in price. But most of them don't even know about Gemini. It's also really good at uploading PDFs. Like that's like one of its best features. So you can like give it 200 pages of your of different scientific papers, and it will be able to answer and ask questions about those.
Oh yeah, and Google also has this Notebook LM software, like AI tool. You know about it, right?
Oh yeah.
So you can actually upload not only PDFs, but you can upload a range of different sources, like including sources like YouTube videos. You can literally paste a link, like of a YouTube video, and it will like analyze it, and again, you can put a lot of different sources. And it will analyze all of them and just come up with a summary or whatever you want from it. Like you can request, okay, create a summary, explain what is meant, what the authors want to convey in this scientific paper or something like that. So yeah, Google's AI is a little underrated, I believe.
I think so too.
Yeah, the most exciting feature about Notebook LM, by the way, is its ability to create a podcast. Yeah, just disclaimer, this podcast is not AI generated, right?
We are indeed humans.
Yes,
talking.
absolutely. Yeah. But if you want to try Notebook LM, it can actually create a podcast for you. So let's say you upload several research papers and you ask it to explain them to you. So you can not only have text, but you can also have a conversation in the form of podcast. And it is stunningly natural. So yeah, the Google's AI, again, just Gemini, Notebook LM, really, really highly recommend. So what are some other tools?
So there's other than ChatGPT and Google Gemini, There's Claude, which is by Anthropic, which is like they're a more ethical company. Their tagline is like human AI. And what's interesting is that Claude creates outputs that sound more human. So like if you're asking it to write like an email or something, it will sound more human compared to ChatGPT or Gemini. But there are other tools that I teach them to use, like Perplexity, which sort of fills a really interesting gap. So Perplexity, all these tools sort of suffer from their accuracy of their citations, but Perplexity is built on top of that, where they will provide you the citation link that they are like underneath what they are saying. But it's not enough to where it can write a paper for you. It's maybe like 3 sentences of a paragraph with bullet points, but it can answer your questions really effectively. And the other tool that I have them use is, I tell them about. It's called Jenny.ai.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Jenny is like a writing assistant that will write with you and sort of prevent writer's block. So it has various forms of how much it's writing with you, but essentially, like as you're writing, it can give you like the next few words of like the next sentence to help you like keep going on your ideas. Yeah,
I actually tried Jenny recently, and it really, really impressed me. Like I just roughly outlined my topic, started writing a paragraph, and it immediately provided me with the links to several extremely useful articles. Like, although the topic was pretty niche and advanced, I even ended up contacting the authors of one of the papers, research papers, to see if they were interested in assisting my research team, because they were so relevant. I was like, absolutely, it was mind-blowing.
Yeah, these tools are really powerful and only getting better.
Yeah, and there's also an option to like upload research papers that you already considered, right? So similar to NotebookLM, just I think it's only PDF on Jenny, right? But yeah, also a useful tool to explore. So we talked about all these models, right? But I also wanted to bring up a point that whenever I personally use AI to create something, the more AI-generated content I use, the more kind of stupid I feel, like I feel like something is done for me. So I wanted to ask, like, what advice do you give your students on how to use these AI tools effectively so they don't get like over-reliant on them?
Yeah. As an educator, I see these AI models as a tool. And so the way I pose it up for the students is that I expect them to be in the driver's seat. And in their scientific writing, I want them to write 80% of the way. So like get all your words down, all your ideas down as much as you can until you hit that roadblock where you need to edit it down. And so then use the models to edit down your work, kind of like as a scientific or more specialized around this paper writing center, like that we would go to at Texas State. And so these models are editing down their work that they've already done, and it helps them get their voice across in the best way possible. This is a bit experimental, so I still want them to do all of the work, and we're still trying to see if this works or, if this is even viable in the classroom. And so we're getting, data points alongside that. But I should, really state that I'm not coming from the perspective that I have all the answers. Mm-hmm. That's why we're doing this class, so that we can get like some data points so we can start creating more effective answers to these things. But also think that we need to have like a collective conversation about what these answers are. And that's the point of why I'm coming on this podcast.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons I'm hosting the podcast, right? I don't think ignoring the presence of AI is wise, and knowing how to use it right can give you a ton of benefits. Let's actually talk about like how to use it right. Yeah. So well, we are here like familiar with the concept of prompt engineering, right? So maybe let's talk about it.
Yeah. For those who don't know, like prompt engineering essentially is how to let's start with a prompt. Right. So a prompt is what you're going to input into the model, and so like in ChatGPT, it's the text you're putting before it answers back, right? Mm-hmm. And prompt engineering is just how to construct a question or an input into the model, the AI model, so that you get a better form of the answer out of it. And so what I tell my students is to give the model context first off. So what that means is tell the model what you're doing. So I'm running a scientific paper about Drosophila melanogaster, and I would like you to, and then this next part about prompt engineering is like tell it the thing you want it to do, like the task essentially. So I would like you to edit this down or like make this flow better. And the students know particularly what they're struggling with, or like what like is the issue within their paper, or making it more concise. Like these are all really good words for what we're doing, but I should say, like, that's a very simple form of prompt engineering, but it can get you really huge gains in the effectiveness of these models. But it can also get really complicated about like how to create your prompts. But that bare bones will probably get you like most of the way there, or like double your effectiveness of these models.
Yeah, and actually there are a lot of very simple tricks that you didn't mention and that are proved by actual research that they work, right? So I wanted to mention, so it is really effective to tell the model its role. Like at the very beginning of your prompt, right, of your text that you're putting in there, you can say something like that. You are an experienced email classification assistant that accurately categorizes emails based on their content and potential business impact. So that's one example, right? So you need to tell the model, like, what is the scope and what it represents, what it is going to do. And it is proven by research that this simple trick can increase performance to up to 25%.
Yeah,
which is absolutely crazy. Again, it's really simple. And then, but that's not the most exciting part, I would say, because there is one concept called emotion prompting. And this is basically short phrases or sentences that contain emotional stimuli. You know, like, this is vital to my career and I greatly value your thorough analysis. Or the success, I know this sounds absolutely ridiculous, but trust me.
Yeah.
Or like the success of the success of your research depends on your thorough judgment. So please provide accurate information. Yeah. What percentage improvement do you think this can lead to?
I've been seeing recent movements about that, but I'm always iffy on it. I don't know. Maybe it's me being more empathetic, but basically making the model like emotionally, giving it a negative emotional experience. Some people will be like, I will die if like this doesn't happen.
Well, yeah, that's probably too much.
But I'm on the nicer end. I always ask the model, please. I'm like, please, will you look into this or like do that? And so I don't know how much it can go up, but I'm always keen to say please, just in case the AI overlord comes in.
So get ready. Research shows that on complex tasks, the improvement can be up to 115%. That's actual research. Again, that's not someone came up with. That's actual research. So more than double the usual performance, just if you ask it to be more thorough. Wow. So I'll actually link a video in the description of this podcast that explains even more simple but really useful prompt engineering strategies in detail. But even with all these prompt engineering tricks, I would say, this AI that we currently have, AI models, this is the worst AI that we will ever have, right? And things like deep research that OpenAI recently unveiled kind of shows the potential and where we are going with this, right? So deep research is basically a PhD level assistant, I would say, right? So you can just ask it to create a really thorough, deep research about your topic, give it some kind of context and all this prompt engineering stuff. And it will basically write an actual research paper for you, right? With all the citations, with everything you need, like really, really thorough analysis. It can be business analysis, like a market analysis or biology analysis, whatever. And it's crazy that it is possible, like even with today's AI. So what do you think about like this kind of potential?
That's actually one of the things that makes me, that I'm really excited about in terms of AI, or in terms of AI in science, is that as a scientist, I have to read a bunch of papers, but I'm limited by the amount of papers I read. There are way too many papers being published for me to read all of them. And that these models kind of can give us a way to get insights from this broad base of scientific papers that are out there. And so from this broad base of scientific papers, we can use an expert level question, I guess, like we're kind of bringing into like prompt engineer, or put our expertise behind a question and get really novel insights out of that. Brand new areas of study or brand new connections being made. And so, yeah, like I'm really excited about that, or at least for my field in terms of science.
All right. I think this is a good point to start talking about the future of education with AI. What stunned me recently is I came across a YouTube video that showed a school in Austin that literally uses AI instead of teachers. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
And like literally they promote themselves as a school with no teachers. They only have guides in classrooms that don't know anything about their subjects, and they just help students become self-driven learners. So what do you think about that?
I think it's a little too hands-off for my approach, or like where I see it going in the future. The future I see is that teachers are still needed in the classroom, and that if AI is integrated, it's integrated on the student level or even at the teacher level, and it's being used to like either tutor the students alongside, but it is sitting underneath the lectures that teachers are already giving. But in order to make that happen, I think that we need to first have a generalized education for teachers so they can understand what these models are doing, what they are capable of, and sort of start to predict what students are going to use them for. So we need a little bit of education for the teachers first, and then they can communicate it to the classrooms or use it in their classrooms. But we're all, learning alongside. So like this kind of approach, or this future that I'm seeing, like very much change in the future. But I believe that it starts with getting experience for the teachers, and so that they can adapt to this future that's coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This transformation or transition may seem hard, right? But look, like just 20 years ago, we had this internet transition, right? Which was pretty much even more like influential, transformative. So I think it is totally possible to adapt to this new reality, right? And it is also important to understand that we all, especially like educators, students, we all need to be active participants in this thing, like not just passive observers. I really enjoyed how the CEO and founder of Khan Academy, Sal Khan, emphasized the importance of this. Like if we, the rule followers, act out of fear and don't take steps toward the effective integration of AI into our lives, the rule breakers, like the totalitarian governments or criminal organizations, they are going to accelerate. And this can lead to a dystopian state where good actors have worse AI than the bad actors, right? So we need to fight and make sure that AI enhances HI. Human intelligence, right?
Yeah. So human intelligence, that's interesting. So I guess I have a nice example of that. So,
okay.
We have students from various different backgrounds. And I'm thinking of an example in particular where I have a student who English wasn't their first language. And so it was difficult to get their point across, of course, in English. But using AI or using these models, that what they got at the end was an enhancement of their HI, their human intelligence. So yeah, there's an example right there.
Yeah. So do you mean that like it became more easy for them to explain what they
like using the model to like convey like as a translator and like convey their ideas like at least in Spanish first and then English second, or maybe their English was clunky and then it can reword or rephrase it in a way where they can identify what they wanted to say, but they maybe didn't have the writing skills to do it, so they can pick it out and put it down on the page.
So it's not like just putting it into a translator. It's actually asking, okay, that's what I want to say, and that's how I want it to be improved, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's the good part is that, again, students from various different backgrounds, they all are using it differently or like in slightly different ways, and it's able to adapt to those things and like address those things.
So, well, let's talk in general, like looking ahead to the future with AI. Are you optimistic about like this revolution? Like, what's your overall mindset?
Oh, that's a pretty deep question. So, I try to be optimistic. But truthfully, I think everyone sort of doesn't know what they're feeling. Here, I'll give an example. This is one that I talk about in my classroom. So Google was doing a study involving fMRIs, which is a brain scanning tool that uses magnets the size of a room. And what they did is they played music in 15-second increments from various different genres or songs. And then while the music was playing, they scanned your brain, and they got your brain activity from it. So the fMRI is showing oxygen levels in your brain. And so it's, in a way, you get this 3D map of the areas that are activating when this music is being played. They take that data and then they translate it back down into a machine learning model, or to trace it back down so that they can get the audio that is being played from this noise. So they know. Yeah. So what you get at the end of it is the sounds that are being played in somebody's head.
That sounds scary.
Yeah. Again, so the way I pose it is, I'm like, okay, here's what it goes, and I play a clip from it, and it's kind of fitting for this podcast because it uses "We Don't Need No Education," Pink Floyd on the Wall, right? And what you hear, what the model reconstructs, is basically the same song but being played from another room. Like you can hear it kind of muffled, but you can identify what song is being played. And I show my students this clip, and then I ask them to raise their hands. What do you feel about this? Do you feel optimistic? Like 2 out of 16 raise their hand. Does this make you feel afraid? And then like 2 out of 16 raise their hand. And then I'm like, do you not know how you're feeling? And then like the rest of the class raises their hand. And I paint it like this. I'm like, okay, this is like a really amazing tool. Like this is going to allow us to hear, the thoughts of somebody in a coma, so that they can speak for themselves. So so I know it gets really, that's the transformative nature of this technology. But so they can speak for themselves, and we can listen in on their thoughts. So that they can advocate for their type of care, or, if somebody has harmed them, they can identify who has harmed them, right? But one of the biggest components or proponents of this research is the U.S. government, who's really interested in hearing your thoughts.
Yeah, that's quite a tantalizing prospect.
Yes, but it's this mix between both, right? So what I have is where I kind of land when people ask me this is I have cautious optimism, right? So I'm like, and I see that as the best route in the future going forward is to be informed. So there's that cautious, like I'm not just like all in one way, all in another way. And the way we're going to generate this better future that AI can bring is for us to be informed and to collectively have a conversation. So, that brings us to why we're here.
Yeah, exactly. Because this podcast is the way to start these conversations at Texas State. And thank you, Evan, for the first of many conversations in this series. Do you want to leave your contact info so our dear listeners can reach out to you if they have any questions?
Yeah. I want to hear what you have to think. And my email is evan@texasstate.edu. Feel free to email me if you have any questions or you want to talk about it, or we can meet. I look forward to hearing from you all.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is just the beginning of Brainwaves evolution, the second season of my podcast and part of my effort to get into the AI industry and advocate for leveraging the power of AI in higher education. If you have some exciting experience using AI and want to collaborate or become a guest speaker in my podcast, feel free to email me at lso30@txstate.edu. And see you in the next one. Let's evolve. Because the AI models that we have right now, it is the worst AI that... what? YouTube video which showed a school in Austin that uses AI instead of teachers. Have you heard of it?
No.
Yeah, so